Graeme, another signing in last night. How pleased are you to get that one over the line?
I'm very pleased. I said all the way through that we were very transparent in what we were trying to do. We made an offer and then we worked closely with Hamilton to make sure that offer was acceptable. We got to a level that they were happy with. And we're happy to bring a young man in that's very humble, very modest, but desperately hungry to do well. I think he enjoyed his first training session today. Turning into the training ground here, it was a special moment for him, and it's up to us to make sure we give him the proper stage and the proper support to go and realise his potential.
What is his potential? What can he add to this Rangers side?
He adds a bit of physicality, he adds legs, he adds the ability to get box to box. He's technically proficient, he's got a range of passing, and typically, or in the past, outstanding Rangers midfield players have been internationals. Ryan Jack, who's an international, and that's his challenge. His challenge is to be an international player whilst being at Rangers, and if he does that, then he'll be on the path to fulfilling some of his potential. But we're just going to try and give him a stage to get as far as he possibly can in the game, and I'm sure that, as you've seen from him talking today, he's going to do everything he possibly can to give himself the best chance.
That's 5 signings you've made in this window. Any more business expected in or out? Is there an update on Danny Wilson?
I would expect business to carry on. Our director of football has got the world's hottest phone right now, and I would expect there to be more business. As to Danny has options until those options are concluded and we have a definitive answer for you. That will stay in-house until we're decided either way. So we will let you know when that happens, but we have options, and the good thing for me is that people are looking at our players with hungry eyes, which is good for us because it means that we have the right type of player, the right quality of player that's drawing attention from people around the world.
Dave King is here today at the training ground. Should we read anything into that? Are you having a meeting with him?
I sat with him at the Burns dinner yesterday. A very, very, very good evening. He's been really supportive. I have to thank him for his backing of us in the transfer window, and he's been hands-on. He's been very upfront, very transparent with myself, very open. It's been great to actually sit down and talk to him about his aspirations for the club and where he thinks we are in our path. But other than that, this is just the business of a top-class football club getting himself ready for a big second half of the season.
In terms of Greg, you spoke about how well he's done to get this opportunity, but is it fair to say now that this is where the hard work starts in order to make him itself into a successful, sort of long-lasting Rangers player?
I would suggest that if you know anything about the young man, his work ethic and his mentality would be such that he would take this as a spur to try and get to greater heights, and that's all it is. We're trying to provide a stage for our players to realise potential, to go and exceed what they've done previously, and we're trying to create a culture where we come in every day and try and make each other better. If we do that in training, if we challenge each other in training, if we have that level of competition in training, it's going to be better for the players in their long-term development, and obviously it's going to be good for the club because we're going to have a core of players at the very, very top of their game, striving to get into our first team and do well for the club. If we manage to get that on a daily basis, then we can have a fantastic second half of the season.
I think if you look at some of his stats, he leads a lot of stats in terms of chances created and goals scored from midfield and things like that. I mean, do you expect, given the platform that Rangers can give him, that will help him take him to these sort of higher heights? That's
the challenge for myself. That's the aim for the staff, to make sure that we take his potential and nurture it and help it grow and get him to the top level in this country. And as I said, if he does that, then he's an international footballer in the making. But once again, it's not fair for us to put limits on him. It's our task, to take all constraints off him, to allow him to flourish, not to place any added pressure upon the young man. He's got enough pressure from his family, I would suggest, because they're all Rangers fans. But just to say to him, we trust in you, we believe in you, you're here for the long term, let's see how far we can all go together. And if we do that, then he's a young man with bags of potential, as I've said, but he's also a young man with that drive that matches the club's.
Is this the model that the club's got to look at in terms of recruitment going forward? It's probably fair to say the last few years that you've missed out on some good Scottish players coming through, but you've obviously got yourselves somebody here who's got a lot growing to do. If you can get more guys like that coming through the door, then it strengthens you and perhaps weakens your opponents as well.
I think every single player we bring in, whatever age, whatever stage they're at, can improve, can get better. If you're not improving, I fully believe that you go backwards every day. So we have to come in with a mindset that we're going to improve. And as to our recruitment, we want to get good players in. We've identified certain criteria in terms of technical and tactical proficiency, physical proficiency, and the mentality and the desire to come and play at Ibrox in big games like we had on Wednesday night. If someone ticks all of those boxes and can still improve, then obviously that strengthens the football club. And if he comes from one of our rivals, that's just the nature of the game. If not, we're still looking at the global market to make sure that we do good business and protect the future of the football club, because as well as we want to bring players in, we have to make sure we are diligent and prudent in our monetary terms and safeguard what is a fantastic club, but ensure that we continue on this path towards getting back to where we want to be.
I believe Greg said that he'd quite like to emulate what Barry Ferguson did here. Do you see the comparisons there?
I do. I haven't played with Barry and seen his attributes up close. There are certain parallels, but it's only natural for a young man to look at one of his idols and want to go and match him. What I observed last night, sitting next to a table of Rangers legends, was people that I want to be worthy of emulating. I want to look at those guys and not just chase them forever. I want this team and these players to be capable of standing up there alongside them for what they've done for the football club. And if we continue to improve, we continue to improve our daily stuff, we can get to a better place than we're currently in, and we can still strive to chase those guys because they are the benchmark. We have to be striving to be worthy of those guys.
Is Greg likely to be involved on Sunday, or is that too soon for him?
Depends how he trains. He got a very, very hefty welcome to Rangers from Jordan Rossiter in training earlier. He's looked sharp, he's looked bright, training's at a really, really good level. But we'll assess that further towards the game, and we'll make sure that if he is appropriately fit and ready to go, then we give him a chance. But we've got to be respectful to the rest of the group that have been here, because Wednesday was good. We just have to make sure that we build on what we've done so far, and bringing people like Greg in can hopefully help us do that.
You had an ankle knock last week with Watkins. Is that something that's still...
It looked all right after that tackle with Jordan, I've got to say. He's all right. He said he's a little bit off in his own mind because he hasn't trained, but we're fully aware of that. This is not a Sunday must-play thing. This is a guy we want here for the long term, that we want to build and work towards ensuring he has a fantastic future at the club.
Can we ask you about Ross County? That's who you play on Sunday, bottom of the league, but what kind of game are you expecting from them?
Well, when they came to Ibrox, Owen set his team up fantastically well, and they performed at a really high standard, so we can't take anything for granted. We're not going to look at relative position. We're going to look at them on their merits and pay them the respect that they are due, because we know that any team in this league can cause us problems if we don't hit the levels that we're capable of. I've said to the players that every single team we play against now has to see the team that played against Celtic, the team that played against Aberdeen on Wednesday, and actually I think we can improve from that. So the minimum standard of our performance, our intensity, our level is Wednesday. We have to ensure that we do that again on Sunday to give ourselves the best chance of having a positive result.
How did Ross McCrory get on at the specialist?
He's had a scan. Thankfully, we think, and the specialist thinks, that it's just a matter of time. He doesn't need surgery. He won't need an injection. It's just a question of being patient with it and waiting until any inflammation and any pain symptoms go away. It's quite difficult actually putting the reins on a 19-year-old that's been playing for Rangers first team. You tell him you have to rest. It's quite frustrating for the guy, but we have to make sure we safeguard his long-term future at the football club, and he understands that, as painful as it is at the moment for him to miss out.
And Ryan Jack, has some reports he's out for the season?
Ryan will be having surgery on his knee. It didn't present that way initially, but he'll be having surgery and he will be out for an extended period. I think it's premature to say he'll be out for the season, but we will make sure that we get the prognosis after his surgery, and we're mindful of his once again his long-term recovery as well.
I know you said there was no deal with Danny at the moment. Is he been having a medical, or is he away at the moment?
Danny's going to be concluding that presently. As to that, I won't have anything to say until it's done. I'm not trying to be disingenuous. I'm just trying to be respectful to all parties and make sure that we don't give you any false information. When we have that information, it will be there for you.